Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome in our deployment and management of Azure infrastructure case study. In this case study, we will be going to talk about how we can deploy and manage our Azure infrastructure on Azure. Now, in this case study, we will be going to talk about the customer, what are the challenges they were having, what are the requirement was there, how their solution overview look like, and then how they are doing continuously customer growth, how they're improving their agility and accelerating time, and what are the outcome they had they had after the solution was completely implemented for the customer, right? So let's quickly jump into the customer introduction and understand about the customer. So this customer is a national innovation leader with the cloud-based solution for electronic health record, which is also known as a EHR, practice management, patient engagement, and the population health management. Whether this company is supporting ambulatory practices, specializations, healthcare centers, urgent case facilities, and the hospital system. One thing is certain with this customer is more business are signing up every day and taking the advantage of comprehensive tools for managing the electronic health records and the medical records, but sustaining a high level of growth demand the appropriate capacity to manage the influx of the data and the network, right? So since this customer is having the informations about the customer health record or the patient health record and the medical record, this company need to be compliant with HIPAA and could meet the company requirement of for the scalability, security, and storage to run the solution, right? And that's where they use the Azure. The health IT leader have since move its EHR, which is electronic health record system, or the platform to Azure in a seamless migration to Azure virtual machine and the data storage. So just give you an overview. This customer is basically a healthcare customer. So being as a healthcare customer, they are having all the information about the patient health record, and they're also having the medical record. So they just want to basically protect it. They just want to move it in the cloud because of the growth they're seeing into the data. So that's where they have used the Azure, and they have seamlessly migrate the EHR application on the virtual machine and the Azure data disk for the storage. Now, what was the challenge they were having? They were having outdated hardware to run the application, higher cost to upgrade the hardware, no options to minimize the IT spend, higher downtime in case of hardware failure, stick with the traditional way of hosting the application, no way of doing the modernization or the digital transformation of the application. Now, what was the requirement, right? So they want to set up the enterprise Azure landing zone. They want to have a centralized identity and access management. They want to have a centralized layer 4, layer 7 security for their network, governance and compliance to be in place for Azure resources. They want to have all the policies like ISO 9001, ISO 27001, HIPAA policies to be in place for Azure resources. Simple and easiest way of migrating to the cloud and then the further management. Migration the virtual machine to Azure as running on the on-premise. So they want to have the migration of virtual machine to Azure as is. Cost optimization where is possible by having the reserve instances or by having the right size choice. Use the automation to minimize the admin overhead. So this is the requirement this customer was having to move the VMs on Azure and then further deployment and the management. So this is how the solution look like. So they have the VMs running on the Azure, and then these VMs are basically having the uh, public IPs, and through that Azure DNS was used to do the name resolution. However, in this design, few components is not there, like customer was having a firewall which is deployed into the landing zone. Customer was also having the application gateway for the layer 7 security which is also deployed into the landing zone, and that's from where they're getting WAF, they're getting IPS IDS, they're getting web hosting, web category filtering, network filtering. Everything has been done for the from the Azure firewall for layer 4 and the application gateway for the layer 7. reaching to the full potentials. So this customer have moved managed the more than 2000 VMs, 2200 virtual machines spread across the multiple regions and primarily depend on the computer memory optimization for running its Java application and the Azure and the SQL database server. In a typical SQL cluster, company have a two VM deployed into the joint redundancy and one for the disaster recovery in a different region, which enhance the availability and reliability of the application into the cloud. In the addition of on-demand scalability, flexibility, and speed and the performance enhancement it get from the Azure VM, eClinicalWorks particularly value the ability to give the customer the same high-quality services without interruption or the data leak. Customer have also built the security by using the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Defender for Cloud provides security recommendations based on the customer workloads. Customer can easily go in and deploy the policies to be comply with the different regulatory compliances. So they are using or they are reaching to the full potential growth or full potential of the cloud. They are using each and every component for the flexibility, scalability, performance, speed, everything. They are doing it by running their workloads on the Azure. As mentioned in this slide, they are having around 2200 VMs, which is running on the Azure. They are using it, they are managing it, and then they are further adding more VMs for more scalability of the application, right? And then they were using the Microsoft Cloud Defender for doing the cloud posture management and cloud security management. Continuously customer growth. So moving customer cluster from its legacy hosting environment to Azure every weekend. The migration of electronic health record platform to Azure is now almost 90% completed. Now it's 100% completed. This company is also in process of moving the rest of its EHR components, including up to 70% component services, with several already moved and running smoothly on the Azure. Customer can now take the advantage of new and continuously emerging capabilities, including contactless contactless patient check-in, electronic payments using the event hubs, while also enjoying the more stable and predictable performance with the eClinicalWorks solution. And with the flexibility of Azure and its ability to support the rapid innovation, eClinicalWorks is deploying these innovation features in its customer offering faster than they were able to deliver the new capability in past or with on-premise environment, which eventually take months or years to release that, but in Azure it can done within the week. Improving agility and accelerating time. So the customer attributes a number of major benefit to its use of the Azure, but notes that the greatest impact has been it's reduced the time to market. As customer get out of the infrastructure management business, Azure have given them perform platform agility, resiliency, and uptime. Customer is able to build those benefits into the deployment and ensure that they have high availability so they can handle potential failure without any issues. In the addition to optimizing the operating speed, customer have accelerated time to market for new physical hardware from 3 months into the previous co-location model to a maximum of 2 weeks with the Azure, including security and compliance checks. This have already helped the company add a new customer and deploy the new application faster than previously possible and many of the self-hosting customers. Now, what is the outcome this customer gets? So this customer is continuously doing its cloud transformation as it's exploring deploying more cloud native services for adding the ease of management. In addition to new application for technologies like AI machine learning, customer is extremely happy that they moved to the Azure as a heart of their application. Azure has been a big step for the customer and they have a very good or great future with it, right? So that's it in this case study. I hope you like this case study. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming case studies, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.